Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, race run fans. We are here ready for another exciting randomizer race with between two very well-known names in this community. We've got MidiGuyDP on the left taking on TheHaxor, who will be on the right tonight. Both guys looking for a little bit of a vengeance tour as they are in the losers bracket now. This being a double elimination tournament. We do have, of course, you have to lose twice before you're actually knocked out. So the road to the grand final has been paved already by one of the runners. That's Pro A 007, one of the absolute OG legends that we've had in the community for a long time. Does a great job at putting the tournament together. He does just a fantastic job behind the scenes. So he is currently already ready for the grand final competitor, and one of these two is going to be looking to punch their ticket to see if they can get a little bit closer to that. MidiGuyDP just earlier did take down Nobly the Foreign, who had a very well fought match, and now MidiGuyDP and TheHaxor are looking for a win here, because the win here will take them to the losers quarterfinal, where they face off against Teeks 88, who Pro A had just beat the other day. I'm Growlwolf. I'm going to be your host for the night. I cannot wait to get this going. And we should be getting our runners here started momentarily. Until then, let's go ahead and get our guesses in chat as to what the first world is going to be. And I'm getting some information that this is loud, so I apologize. Am I loud? Is it the sound? Let me know, and I'll see if we can get that fixed real quick. But anyway, also let's get our guesses in for the world order. I got to start with 4 this time. We'll start with the land of Iggy. Maybe see if he's the one that comes up first. So MidiGuyDP on the left. We have a veteran on the left. We have, calm is loud. Okay, let me see if I can mute myself. I'm sorry. All right, I should have lowered the mic just a little bit. Let me know if that's okay or if I need to do it more. We got a couple guesses. We've got reverse world order. We've got world 5. So world 4 for me. Go ahead and get your guesses in still, but we'll be getting started here in just one moment. So this is a best of 3 match. If you're new here, let's go ahead and get some rules out of the way. It is a best of 3, which means the first one to take 2 wins will, of course, be the winner, and the loser will be going home to fight another day. Haxor going to go ahead and play a level. There was a pipe there that was free, decided he did not want to play it, and is going to go ahead and play through his level. That's very interesting. Kind of an interesting start for the Haxor, but nonetheless, it was a free pipe that he missed, and maybe just doesn't want to have to play this level again if it happens to come into play. But either way, he's going to burn through this very quickly, as he does. The TheHaxor definitely not a stranger to the scene of SMB3. He is well known for his 100% runs, as well as being a part of the randomizer community. Any percent runs, a very well-seasoned runner, and does a fantastic job all around. Meanwhile, MidiGuyDP is very well known in the randomizer circuit, always a top competitor for sure, a force to be reckoned with, no doubt, in the randomizer race here tonight. And going on back to the rules for a little bit, our runners will have 8 worlds they have to play through. Just like the vanilla game, this is most well equated to any percent no warp run, or warpless, if you're familiar with the speed run. Basically, our runners start in the first world. They have to finish at Bowser's Castle. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no wrong warps. There's nothing like that. Our runners have to go through each of the first 7 worlds, which is randomized, and they have to take down the giant turtle at the end, save the princess, and they continue on from there. So now Haxor, realizing that he is going to have to play what MidiGuyDP already has, which is going to put MidiGuy in a bit of a lead here, so long as he can keep it up, and we'll be moving on towards the end of World 2 here as soon as he possibly can. So I'm not Lloyd with the correct guess there. Very nicely done. And MidiGuyDP now finishing off his level as TheHaxor is on his way through his. And we are moving on very nicely, very quickly so far. These games are going to be very quick as we have TheHaxor taking on 6F1's Boom Boom. And that fight, of course, is done with just 5 fireballs. So very nicely done on his side. That is going to be a lock break. MidiGuyDP is going to be going after some items. This is very interesting and actually takes us to the next point of this race. Hammers do more than just break rocks in this game. So if you do get a hammer, it will break locks as well. That's going to become very important as our runners look to have some kind of an advantage. One cloud, one hammer brother suit could be the difference between winning and losing, as we saw just the other night in another race with MidiGuyDP. MidiGuy getting called out for the Sand of Shame. I'm sorry, no, that was TheHaxor getting called out for that. A safe strategy, and when you don't know what the enemy set is, it's not a bad idea. So now we have 2-2 on the side of TheHaxor, 7-9 on the side of MidiGuyDP. MidiGuy was quoted, or not 7-9, I'm sorry. He has 2-1, actually. I saw the pipes, I got confused. Anyway, so MidiGuyDP was asking about a World 7 that is a little bit confusing. He said he's long overdue for one. So this is a seed that I rolled. We'll see if we got it for him. MidiGuyDP now into the World 6 airship, and TheHaxor is trying his best to catch up. He has taken a different route here. Both of the levels were from World 5, interestingly enough. However, the 5-8 that MidiGuyDP played was certainly a lot quicker than the one that TheHaxor had taken. So, just a little bit of a difference there. That's just how the randomizer goes. It is easy for us on the commentator on the chat to see these different things, but we also have both screens up. Obviously, TheHaxor and MidiGuy cannot do that, as that's just not going to work for them. So they can't have the two screens up. That's cheating. We don't like that. But in the meantime, now 2-1 on the side of TheHaxor, and he's going to try a P-speed strat here. But when you don't know the enemy set, that is extremely hard to do. Meanwhile, MidiGuyDP now into the second of the worlds that we have tonight. Interestingly enough, we have World 7. We talk about it, it shows up. So World 7, maybe get an Atlantis start. I think that could be interesting. But what we do have now is a couple of fortresses, and MidiGuy is going to have to figure out what exactly he wants to do with that. A bridge is required. So even if a hammer comes up, he is still going to have to play to the correct fortress to get through with that. So now we have our second World 6 fortress. That is, of course, 6F3. And MidiGuyDP doing a great job of getting through there as quickly as possible. We have a drunk Hotfoot, a dry bone that says I'm going home, and a regular Hotfoot that does nothing because of social anxiety. So TheHaxor able to get through there without any form of damage, and he's able to keep that Fireflower Brother suit into a fight with Boom Boom. Meanwhile, TheHaxor just doing his best to catch up, and will be looking for any form of an advantage he can get coming into World 7. Not exactly a difficult World 7 for our runners tonight, but MidiGuyDP utilizing a pause strat that works with those little nippers there as they come out and are not affected by a start. So, interestingly enough, MidiGuyDP was able to avoid the first damage, unfortunately. Unless you know exactly where you are and what your momentum is, it's very complicated getting out of that without damage, but he did do well with that nonetheless and is able to get that Fireflower back, as 8 Fortress is the one that's required, the only fortress that you'll actually find in World 8. He nearly slips off that first block, but is still able to get through without any further issues. Meanwhile, TheHaxor demonstrating why he's such a prolific speedrunner, as he does take the P-speed strat for the first part. Unfortunately, not able to finish with it. Gets his P-speed back, and that, of course, will spell the end of the 6F3, except for, of course, these 3 guys who are wanting to be a pain for TheHaxor. MidiGuyDP taking down Boom Boom, no problem at all. And TheHaxor now into his fight with Boom Boom as well. MidiGuyDP now headed down to see if he can get through to World 7's Ludwig von Koopa, which of course he will do here momentarily. So overall, just not a very tricky World 7 at all. Actually quite a tame one. Both runners were able to go immediately to the Europe island on the world map, if you think of it as the 7 continents, of course the Antarctica along the bottom there. But Europe, not a big deal. 2 fortresses. TheHaxor knows exactly what MidiGuy did a few minutes ago, and that is, wait, I played the wrong fortress, gotta play this other one. But it is the right choice. If you don't know, obviously, then you can't by any means have any form of knowledge in that regard, so you play the path of least resistance, which in this course was fortress. So anyway, so TheHaxor playing the correct fortress to play first, played through that, played Piranha, now the fortress. You expect to see it. After a while, you kind of get a feel for what should happen, and these runners are doing a fantastic job so far. So still not a whole lot between these two runners, probably a couple minutes time at this point, but it's still anybody's game. We still have World 6. Now we have our second hammer entering the game for MidiGuyDP. That's going to come in handy here in just a little bit. Meanwhile, TheHaxor now going to have to retrace his steps a little bit. He did not have the knowledge going into this. Oh, yes, he did. I apologize. He absolutely did have the knowledge, and this being a World 7 that's very tame is going to spell the end of it for TheHaxor as well. Now, as he moves on to 6-1, the fight with Ludwig von Koopa does commence. Small Mario with the star is not going to be an insta-kill, but that doesn't matter this time. Ludwig von Koopa is down at 837 for MidiGuy. Now, TheHaxor is going to be looking to catch up here as quickly as possible, and here in about 30 seconds we're going to be into the next world. Get your guesses in as to what you think that is. We have 2, we have 7. We've seen 2 and 7 so far. What do we got next? I'm going to have to go with 6. Let's take it to the land of ice. TheHaxor seeing a hammer, he's pleased with that for sure, and will come in handy, I am sure, for him here momentarily. World 6 has come out, the land of ice, and a pipe at the beginning. Could this be a free pipe? Is this going to be an extremely quick World 6? It does not look so, and it looks like MidiGuy says, you know what, I'll play a level. I'm not that scared about it. So he's going to pick either the 6 or 8 panel. He is going to take the 8 panel, and a Tanuki suit to boot. Wants to make sure that he does keep himself safe as he finds himself in the tanks, which was the first level that you come to in the original Bowser's World 8 in the original vanilla game. So MidiGuyDP just doing his best to get through here without any further damage. TheHaxor is currently falling to the castle, and where he will be greeted by the king with a strange message, of course, because we can't do anything normal here. That's why we call it Randomizer. Frog suit comes out for MidiGuy, and TheHaxor just now getting into World 6. He's about a level behind. He will, of course, check this pipe as well, as MidiGuy looks to keep his lead as long as he possibly can. Star comes out for the Boomerang Brothers. No big deal there. That's an extra item to have for sure. And the pipe. Okay, MidiGuy cannot see the other end of this pipe, which means he's definitely going to be at least a screen transition over or 2. And that is going to spell basically a free World 6, and is going to allow MidiGuy to go on to World 4 here in just one moment. So the World 3 airship comes up, and MidiGuy is putting it back down as he gets ready to take on Lemmy, the conniving Carney. TheHaxor is working on 7-2 here, as he had to build that music bridge underneath. Of course, the quickest way through this is a tail, but that's not always a possibility here. So a very quick 2.5 minute World 6, a little bit of a misnomer here, and we do go into World 4 in just a moment. Get your guesses in as to what you think that is. We've seen 2, 7, and 6 so far. I gotta go with 5 this time. Let's see if we can start the reverse world order, and we do have a wild Tanuki appears. Command? So if you got your commands, go ahead and get them into chat, as that is a well-deserved place to get that. Not an easy thing to do, believe it or not, in the randomizer. There's a lot that can go wrong. MidiGuyDP sees a lock, sees a hammer, says, hey, I know what to do with this. He takes out the lock immediately in World 1, and I think that's probably not a bad idea. That's going to save him 3 levels that he doesn't have to play now. So a pretty good little place to play that. The double rock play is probably out. Typically it is in World 3 for randomizers. Just not a whole lot of reasons to do a double rock play when you can also break locks with the hammers. So no big deal. He's playing that very well. HaxOr now taking out Lemmy, the conniving carny, and he will be moving on to World 1 also. He saw the lock, he broke it, he had no hesitation on that, and rightfully so. This is not a time to play Pick the Fortress, as our runners are just trying to get through as quickly as possible. MidiGuyDP in the World 1's Fortress, and TheHaxor says, my cat's breath smells like cat food. I wonder why. MidiGuyDP now into the fight with Boom Boom. 2 quick fireballs means 3 more, and he's out of there. And he'll be moving on to Larry's castle momentarily. The letter from the princess did carry a Hammer Brother suit, which is very valuable to have, especially in the end game, as our runners are going to be looking for the fastest way to take down Bowser, and they just found it. So a very good item to have for sure. That could spell the difference between our runners, and that's obviously the side you want to be on, is having the Hammer Brother suit. So both of them do have one now. MidiGuyDP now into the World 2 airship. HaxOr now moving into the World 1 Fortress in just a moment. He will be looking for a P-speed strat here for sure. Gets a fire flower. He won't be able to fly up and get the item exactly like MidiGuyDP just had to do. And instead, he might go for the clip here. He does get it. Very nice. He might be able to get the bro kill out of this. We'll see if he has enough. He does not, but that's still a much faster way to play this level as opposed to waiting for the spike. So a bit of a time save there. Slowly but surely, HaxOr is clawing his way back into this thing. So it is anybody's game still. There is a lot to play, as we still only in World 4, and we still have 3, 4, and 5 to go. So a couple of not easy worlds necessarily, but they may just be enough for HaxOr to come back. We'll see if MidiGuy is able to finish this off without any further issues, which he's been known to do. I mean, he is not an easy competitor to take down. It's anybody's guess at this point. It may just come down to a lucky guess in World 8. We'll have to see what happens. HaxOr now taking down Larry. No big deal. And MidiGuyDP flying through 4-2. So very nicely done on his side. Both of our runners just showing why they've made it this far in the tournament so far. I don't think anybody's surprised by that at all. These guys are good. They absolutely are good. They have done a fantastic job getting to this point. They've done a fantastic job in this race so far, and I fully expect this to continue throughout our matches tonight. Hopefully we get 3. You know, that's what we always hope for. You know, get your money's worth. And these guys, they're both hungry for it. The winner gets to take on Teeks and see if they have something to say about him moving on. Loser will have to wait for the next tournament, but both of these guys are very deserving of that next spot. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. HaxOr deciding he doesn't like the path that MidiGuy just took, and he said, you know what? I see 2 more pipes over on the left side. I'm going to go ahead and wait and see what I can find. So very curiously, it looks like MidiGuy is going to go ahead and play a fortress, and that is going to be World 2's Fortress. If this is not a required fort, then I think TheHaxor is going to have a bit of a lead here. Neither one with the knowledge where Wendy is so far. There are 5 pipes on the main island. Only 1 does take them all the way to the east, where Wendy does reside in her castle. HaxOr is now having to do what MidiGuy just did a moment ago, except HaxOr is going to play one less level, so that level advantage that MidiGuyDP had of about 2 levels is now 1. HaxOr is now in the fight, or is now in World 2's Fortress, and if he's able to keep that fire flower, that does mean he's going to be able to take down Boom Boom even quicker than MidiGuy did. So now MidiGuy seems pretty convinced he knows where Wendy is now, and I think he's probably got it right here, as this is the last pipe. So with that being the only fortress, and MidiGuyDP now has a clear way, HaxOr's going to be on his tail very quickly. I think he's going to go back through this fortress, after this fortress, he's going to go back through the pipe, and then of course try to locate the other one. And if it isn't, which we know it is, then he would have 2 more levels to play. So a little bit of a gamble, but not really. He had 3 pipes he could see. and he made the right choice. He decided not to go back through the pipe transition, and I did forget about the first one, so he actually had all the knowledge there, and now he too is in the World 7 airship. We'll see if he does the P-speed strat and can make this just a little bit closer. MidiGuyDP now into a crazy fight with Wendy, who's got a couple of rings out. If MidiGuyDP took a death there, that was going to spell the difference of a lead change. Now TheHaxor looks like he's going to be going for a fire kill here. 10 fireballs, but when she's flying at you like that, that is not easy to do. So it's going to be a 4-hit slugger for the TheHaxor in a fight with Wendy. But he has really come back into this. And now this game has once again become either runners at this point. I mean, it's MidiGuy had just a little bit of a misplay there, I think, with playing that second level, and that was just enough for the TheHaxor to be able to get back and get back into this race, really. So now World 4 has come up, and time is running out. So the TheHaxor behind maybe 15 seconds at this point, maybe not even that. And okay, a little bit of an interesting World 4 here. MidiGuy going to take a save, and 3 fortresses do separate our runners from the castle, so 2 of those will be required, and this is going to be very interesting to see. So MidiGuyDP finds the first fortress at 6F2, and that's the one that he's going to play. TheHaxor, on the other hand, has decided to save his cloud and is going to go ahead and play a World 6 level here, which I find interesting. I find this very interesting because MidiGuy had no hesitation, and maybe the TheHaxor is expecting another foot to drop. 18.5 minutes, we're already into World 6. There's still a lot to play here, but at what point do you finally use the cloud? So we're going to have to wait and see if he gets that, if he has any further problems with that. But anyway, the TheHaxor now gets a music box. There are 3 Hammer brothers that you could fight here. MidiGuy picking the wrong fortress, very interesting for sure. Now finds himself in 6-6. I think this is a great time to use a cloud if you have it, which unfortunately MidiGuy, I'm not sure does. We'll have to wait and see what his item inventory looks like. But okay, he does. He absolutely does. But he's going to go ahead and play a Boomerang Brother first. He'll go ahead and use that hidden mushroom item to go ahead and take on the Hammer Brother. That, of course, is a music box that he gets that we just saw the TheHaxor do. So the TheHaxor now playing both fortresses, does not want to be wrong, really can't go further than this. He could go through the pipe transition, but thinks, hey, I don't really care. So yeah, both of our runners will have to play all 3 fortresses here. But you know, it's not too bad. It's pretty linear, and we'll just have to wait and see what 6-6 does to our runners. At this point, though, I think the TheHaxor is probably going to be moving forward a little bit quicker because he's now played both fortresses that MidiGuy has played. MidiGuy just left his, and the TheHaxor is going to be right behind him. So a cloud comes out on the side of MidiGuyDP, decides he does not want to play that first Hammer Brother, and I find that a little bit interesting as well. Okay, the TheHaxor blowing both of his clouds. Very interesting to see. He thinks, you know what? I have all the information I need. 5-1 comes up on the side of MidiGuyDP, and the TheHaxor now into his level, his fortress. This, of course, will be the last of the 3 that we have to go through in order to get moving on to the next part in this race. So 4F1 goes down for the TheHaxor. We'll see MidiGuy take that on here in just a moment. 2 Hammer brothers not going to be a factor here, and MidiGuyDP is going to be trying to play catch up now, as TheHaxor is no stranger to this first airship that you come to in the game. Thankful that that did not soft lock him, but he does clip through the pipe. This is a reminder that the game was still made in the early 80s, but remains a marvel nonetheless. So far, the match has been absolutely outstanding, Callus. This is a really, really tough fight so far between these 2 runners, MidiGuyDP and the TheHaxor, just duking it out. MidiGuy having to go back and play an extra level there, so he did waste a cloud. I'm sorry, he didn't waste the cloud. He had to take an intentional early exit. But now just about a level behind is MidiGuyDP. So World 7 coming up here in a moment is World 5. Neither of our runners do have a hammer at this point. And as far as I know, all clouds have been burned. So this is going to be a knockout, drag-out fight. Interesting. The TheHaxor has decided to go ahead and play this a little differently. He has decided he's not going to go and take on the tower yet. He's going to C3-5 and play that first, which I find a little interesting here. Meanwhile, MidiGuyDP going to be doing his best to get in here. I wonder if we have a divergence. The tower will take you to a pipe, and I wonder if the TheHaxor thought, I'm not really all that interested. That's oh, this is going to be interesting. Because he does see 2 pipes on the screen. Obviously, there's not a fortress down here, so there's no way to build the bridge down here. TheHaxor wants the easy route first. He wants to know if this is the one that takes him up top, and it does! Oh my goodness, it absolutely does! So the Navy is going to be the first of our 2 fortresses. I believe this one's going to build the bridge down below, but it is route required. So TheHaxor is going to have to play this just for the sake of where it's at. But MidiGuy is going to realize as soon as he gets through this that tower is not required, which I find very interesting. The TheHaxor displaying just an absolutely incredible showcase here as he went ahead and skipped the tower. He did not even look at it. And oh wow, talk about a heads up play. That is not what you expect to see. Blue fortress not even going to be required here. The only reason the fortress was required is that the Navy had it was in the way. So now the TheHaxor finds himself in the 1-6 beta. MidiGuyDP now figures out what went wrong, and now he's back in a 3-5. This is going to spell trouble for MidiGuy. Any chance that he had at getting an easy lead back is now gone, and he's going to have to really work for it. But the game is not over yet. World 8 still hasn't come out, and Bowser has not fallen for either of these runners yet. And we do sometimes call the World 8, actually we all the time, I always call it the Great Equalizer. 7-5 on the side of the TheHaxor. We'll see what kind of maniacal mania this has for him this time. There has been a couple of 7-5s that have been absolutely disgusting, and we'll have to wait and see. Oh, looks like this enemy set is not going to be friendly. It looks like that was a Patui, so we'll have to wait and see what kind of other crazy critters we have running around here. MidiGuyDP taking a mushroom into 7-5. I think that's a really good idea. In answer to Tillo, I hope I did not butcher that too much. I apologize. We are in the losers round 3. The winner of this one will go on to play Teaks88 in the losers quarterfinal. The other pair of matches that we'll have is Human Mustard versus DLP316, which will be after this race. And that is at 10:35 p.m. Eastern, and that's right here on SpeedGaming 3. So you'll have a bit of a break between our 2 runs, and then tonight we have DLP taking on Human Mustard. The winner of that game will go to the semifinal, and will play whoever wins between these 2 runners and Teaks, and they'll be looking for a spot in the losers final with Stewie Cartman, and the winner will go on to take on Pro A007 in the grand final. So a lot to play here still. Oh, that's a beautiful clip. If you want a way to get out of 7-5 quick, that is a way to do it. Not easy to do by no means, but an absolutely brilliant clip on the side of MidiGuy, and that's going to put him into a very good spot as far as trying to catch up here. And you know, with this beta level, you pretty much just press right and hold B until the very end when you do have an enemy that likes to drop down from above. MidiGuyDP making short work of that. There is a level between the 2, and at this point, it's anybody's game still. It is still anybody's game. MidiGuyDP now trying to figure out what he wants to do here. 3-9 has come up on his side. Meanwhile, the TheHaxor into Airship 5, and he is going to be taking a tail for his efforts. I don't hate this play. If you can take a small or a easy fall off of a couple of those platforms, you can go the top route, which we saw the TheHaxor do, and that's a very good place to be. That way you don't risk taking any damage. You're very comfortable with where you are, and that's kind of a big thing in Randomizer. There's a lot of places where you can take a lot of damage, and you just want to do your absolute best. MidiGuyDP now into the World 5 Airship. The TheHaxor is going into World 8. Get your guesses in for our last mini game of the match of this race, I guess. And guess how many bridges it's going to take our runners to get to Bowser. So I like to play this with the extended range of anywhere between -1 and 4. Now, -1 means when in the normal game, in the vanilla game, when you come into Bowser's Valley, on the left-hand side, that's where you come in, and then there's the tanks, and then you have Bowser's at the end of the road. But in our randomizer, it's possible for the pipe to be in where the tanks normally are. So if the bridge is to the left of where you come in based on where the pipe is, that's what we consider a -1. So we got a guess for that. Oh, it looks like we have a guess for all of them so far. So somebody's going to be right. That is for sure, unless the game glitches and we can't figure it out. MidiGuyDP now trying to figure out where he's going next. He's going to be in the Air Force in just a moment. TheHaxor is doing his best to get through this jumper, this platformer, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This fortress is tough. You've got those rocky wrenches that are throwing wrenches at you. You've got, even without the auto scroller, you still have to time this right. And MidiGuyDP just he's really come back. If he had a fire flower here, he'd be within just a few seconds. It's going to take a little bit more, but now TheHaxor and MidiGuyDP both going to be moving on here just momentarily. If MidiGuy gets a correct guess here, or if he has a item that we haven't seen, then that's going to be a bit of a big play. TheHaxor having a missed input there, it looks like. He was unfortunately unable to clear that gap, and now he will play 5F1 again. Meanwhile, MidiGuyDP has now taken the lead for the second time this game, and this is a tight one. If this is a linear World 8 and MidiGuy keeps this up, he will be our winner, but this is anybody's game at this point. This is absolutely anybody's game. It's been give and take the entire time. It is insane. Animus, I have this as losers round 3. The semis will be the winner between Teeks88 and the winner of this game, and whoever wins tonight with Human, Mustard, and DLP316. So yeah, so we have a round 3 so far. It's been a lot of tournaments so far, which is why it's kind of hard to figure out which is which. But yeah, we've had a lot of tournaments, a lot of games so far. The runners have been absolutely extraordinary. I love being just on the commentator booth with this because of how great these guys do. So now we join our runners in 3F1, and our runners are just making very short work of this. MidiGuyDP, he is at Boom Boom first. TheHaxor is right behind him. This is so close at this point. Yeah, MidiGuyDP currently ahead by just seconds, and TheHaxor is looking to minimize that as much as he possibly can. It's a free shot. It's a Hammer Brothers suit on the side of MidiGuyDP. TheHaxor's going to grab his two right before he goes in. It is time, folks. It is time. If MidiGuy is going to pull this off, he has got to do it quickly. A beautiful top of the escalator clip. TheHaxor also nails it. What is this? Are they just giving out the free clips today or what? This is incredible. TheHaxor now is going to be... barely avoiding the disco waffle there. MidiGuy going for the mac and cheese clip. Doesn't get it the first time. Doesn't get it the second time. What's going on here? TheHaxor takes it. TheHaxor takes it. That is game number 1 in the books for our runners. GG's in the chat here in just one moment. Bowser, the dirty turtle, is about to go down. MidiGuyDP, unable to get the clip, goes through the fireball room, and now that is it. Get your GG's in chat for MidiGuy and for TheHaxor for an incredibly well fought first fight. And there you have it. That is the first race in the books. GG to both of our runners. I don't believe either of them know exactly what had happened. They just saw the times 30:45 to 30:50. TheHaxor takes the first over MidiGuyDP. What a run. That is absolutely insane. I got nothing. That is incredible. TheHaxor able to nail 3 clips in a row in World 8's Bowser's Castle. MidiGuyDP fought so hard, and to come down to 5 seconds at the very end. That's what we're here for, folks. That is what we are excited about and what we want to see, and that's absolutely incredible. We're going to be getting our runners started here in just a few moments, and I think we're going to have to let some steam get taken out for that one, because that is absolutely incredible. And Animus United, you are absolutely correct. It was Midi who was in a fight with Stewie Cartman. They had their match, and he had a soft lock earlier where he did an overkill on one of the Koopalines, and then later on in one of the other races, he wound up having a bit of a problem with the clip. He was there first, went through, would have still been faster than Stewie Cartman, but unfortunately he did lose his Hammer Brother suit in a invisible fireball, and he ended up getting into the fight first but lost because he didn't have the Hammer Brother suit, and Stewie Cartman was able to hold on to that. So, you know, a couple of rare misses for MidiGuyDP. Just, it comes down literally to the wire, as many people have said in chat. It literally came down to seconds with a single clip, and that's all it came down to. Absolutely incredible. And we're going to be getting that hopefully here in just a moment. We've got our runners. They're going to be starting here in just a few moments, and in the meantime, go ahead and take your breaks, grab your popcorn, grab your drinks, whatever it is that you need, because we're going to be here for a little while. Hopefully we get our game 3, but both of these runners are just absolutely incredible runners. So it's, as you can tell, it's going to be anybody's guess as to who takes game 2. In the chat, we do have links to the runners. If you're not already following MidiGuyDP and TheHaxor, definitely go show them some love here real quick. These guys have put on an absolute showcase, and Sharkit, I am with you. We definitely went game 3, like absolutely. I told a pair of runners the other day, I said, look, I'm not going to cheer for anybody in the comms booth. I will cheer for a game 3. Like I'm good with game 3, and seeing how this one just played out, that is definitely a possibility, as both runners have a lot to fight for here, as the winner moves on in the tournament with another shot at redemption, and the loser's going to have to wait till the next one. So, you know, a lot at play here, and our runners are definitely possible. It's definitely possible for either of these runners to take this game. I mean, from an early exit on, or an early problem with TheHaxor, had a pipe, played the level instead in World 2, and then MidiGuyDP, he had just a little bit of a misplay, I would say, on World 3. He ended up losing a bit of his lead, but then came clawing right back, got some really good information in World 4, was able to use that to his advantage to get caught back up a little bit, and then into World 8, he was able to take a lead by the hand level, and then at the very end, 5 seconds was the insane difference between the two. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, 45-second lead at the end is absolutely a possibility. Yeah, because you're right. You're absolutely right. But that level he played, if MidiGuy hadn't played that, he would have been 45 seconds ahead. So it's, you know, how do you know? How do you know? Commentating on Randomizer is nice because I can see, you know, typically a couple different things. We're able to talk about strategies and things like that. But when you're running and there's so many things firing, it's a lot. It is absolutely a lot. You have to be aware of the levels, the world map, the inventory. You have to really pay attention to where you are, where you're going, what you're doing, and you know, it's a lot. And our runners, they do their absolute best, and you know, we just hope for the best for both of them, and the randomizer gives and the randomizer takes away. This could be a very close match, or the next one could be a blowout. You know, we're just gonna have to wait and see for sure. Facing either Midi or Haxor is going to be really stressful. Teeks, better you than me. I do not at all envy you for that task that you have, but I mean, you guys have all done just a great job with SMB3 Randomizer in general. I mean, the entire community is absolutely incredible. The amount of just everything that people have done. I mean, the level of play has really gone up in the recent years. I've been lucky to be a part of it, and it's incredible seeing what this community can do now. The community has grown and gotten better, and even at this point in the competition, I mean, there's still 5 seconds differences between these two runners. It's incredible.